All right, let's talk corporate events. Usually they're kind of boring, right? Trust falls, bad coffee, stale presentations. But what if one of the biggest tech companies in the world designed one? Well, today we're looking at exactly that. We've got our hands on what seems to be a schedule from a Google retreat, and honestly, it sounds less like a business trip and more like a season of a hit survival show. This is basically a masterclass, so let's dig in and see what they did.
So picture this. You get your schedule for the event. What's the first line you read? It's this. I came to an island. It's called Google Boule Island. I mean, how cool is that? It's not some generic, welcome to the 2023 team building seminar. Nope. Right from the get-go, they're setting a scene. It's mysterious. It's an adventure. You're not just an employee anymore, you're an explorer. That's how you hook someone, right from that very first sentence.
And what kind of adventure are we talking about here? Well, it turns out this whole two-day thing is themed around Squid Game. Yes, that Squid Game. It's a huge, bold move, right? Instantly, you know this isn't going to be your typical team-building exercise. We're talking high-stakes, fun competition. They completely tossed out the corporate playbook and went straight for pop culture excitement.
Okay, so you've got this epic theme, this sense of mystery, but how do you actually start an adventure like this? Let's take a look at the arrival, because how they set the stage for the games is just brilliant.
You'll notice the pacing here is really smart. Before all the high-tech challenges kick off, the day begins gently. You've got a simple check-in at the visitor center, then a nice, relaxing nature tour, followed by a big group lunch. You can totally see the strategy, can't you? This gives everyone a chance to chill out after traveling, get used to the place, and just start chatting and mingling before the real competition begins.
All right, everyone's settled in, they've had lunch. Now, day one kicks into high gear. And this is where they start to masterfully weave together the social stuff, the icebreakers, with a full-on immersion into Google's own tech.
The official start of the event is called Only Yo. Now there's a super clever pun happening here. The Chinese character for squid is pronounced yo, which sounds almost exactly like the English word you. So the title is a double whammy. It's only you and only squid at the same time. It's these kinds of playful, creative details that just reinforce the theme and show an amazing attention to detail.
And check this out. Look how they get everyone on board right away. The very first things you have to do are all about technology. You're joining the Google Classroom, using Google Chat, learning the game rules, and even meeting a chatbot built for the event. So you're not just at a Google event, you are actively using the entire Google ecosystem just to participate. It's genius, really. It's product training disguised as a fun game.
The first big activity has this fantastic, poetic title. In Chinese, it's a really creative line with another pun. It plays on an idiom for being flamboyantly dressed, but it uses the word for cuttlefish, another nod to the squid theme. The whole line basically translates to this amazing invitation. Show up looking fabulous, and with a quick Google search, we'll all go from strangers to familiar faces. So behind that super creative name, there's a really clear purpose. This first activity, the icebreaker, isn't just about making awkward small talk. No, it's an interactive game where you and your team have to use Google Search as a tool to find out about each other. It directly connects the social goal, team bonding, with one of Google's most important products. As the day winds down and night starts to fall, this theme of weaving technology into everything continues. Even at dinner. You've got to see how they handled the evening barbecue.
So the dinner event is called AI on the Tip of the Tongue. This name alone tells you it's not just a regular barbecue. It's a competition. Teams are split into red and white chefs, and the name heavily implies that AI or some other Google tech was a key part of this cook-off. You're left wondering, were they using an AI recipe generator, or maybe an AI judging tool? The name itself just builds so much curiosity.
And the evening schedule itself shows a really smart sense of flow. It kicks off with this high-energy, competitive barbecue challenge, but for people who finish up early or maybe just want something a bit more chill, there are guided night tours of the park. It's a fantastic balance between a structured competition and more relaxed, unstructured social time.
Okay, let's jump into day 2. After a night of great food and exploring, the morning is all about the main event, This is where everything builds to a climax, the survival game.
What a title, right? Clues are hidden in Google, the Squid Agent's puzzle-solving journey, and it's followed by the Great Nature Survival Game. This is that moment where everything that's been building comes together. The tech integration, the squid theme, and the awesome physical location.
And here you can see the challenge is broken into two key parts. First, teams have to work together online, digging through all those Google tools, classroom chat, you name it, to solve puzzles and find clues. Then they take what they found and have to apply it in the real world during a physical survival game out in the park. This design is just so incredibly effective because it forces teams to use both their digital brainpower and their real-world teamwork to succeed.
So, after this super high-intensity morning, what's next? A really thoughtful cool-down period. They have activities like DIY soap making and a local tea tasting. This lets everybody just wind down, relax, and shift from that competitive mindset to a more collaborative, reflective one before the big finale. It's a great touch.
And that brings us to the final part of this whole journey. See, this wasn't just about playing a game. It was designed from the start to lead to a real, tangible outcome. It's time for graduation.
The finale isn't just some boring closing remarks. No way! It's framed as the Squid Game graduation ceremony where everyone officially becomes a Google Certified Survival Master. This keeps the fun theme going right up to the very end, but it also gives the whole experience a feeling of real, official accomplishment.
But maybe the biggest secret, the masterstroke of this entire event, is revealed by this one single number, 6. The schedule shows that this whole experience corresponds to GCE Level 6, and GCE stands for Google's Certified Educator. This is it. This is the whole point. The entire two-day game wasn't just for fun. It was an incredibly immersive, gamified path to getting a real professional certification.
So when it's all over, people don't just leave with some fun stories. They walk away with a legitimate, valuable GCE Level 6 certification. They also get a shared cultural resource they helped create, a digital doc of Taiwanese proverbs from the event. And of course, they leave with that powerful bond that only comes from a shared, wild, collaborative adventure.
Which leaves us with one last big question. By so perfectly blending a playful theme, deep integration of its own products, and a tangible professional certification, Google didn't just host a retreat. They created a truly powerful learning experience. So you have to wonder, is this the new blueprint for what a corporate event can be, and maybe what it should be?